"This is just a bag alarm," said the police officer. David looked inside the bag and froze. C4, plastic explosive, timer, pressure plate, anti-tamper sensors. A complete suicide bomb. And David was the only one who knew how to disarm this device, the same type he'd encountered in Iraq. Welcome back to A Story Every Day. Before we dive into this heart-pounding story, drop your city in the comments and hit subscribe if you believe silent heroes deserve recognition. Metro's Central Station sat at the heart of the city, the largest underground station in the network. 50,000 people passed through these platforms every day. During rush hour, the platform transformed into a human river. David Park was an almost invisible figure in this chaos. 45 years old, Korean-American, always in his neat uniform, a quiet security guard. He'd been working here for 3 months, earning $12 an hour. Passengers barely noticed him. Students buried in their phones, businessmen rushing to catch trains, tourists studying maps. David stood in the corner, never taking his eyes off his surroundings, cataloging every detail, recording every movement. The other security guards found David strange. He paid too much attention, asked too many questions, wrote too many reports. "David, you're just doing security at a subway station," his supervisor Johnson would say. "This isn't the CIA." But David was different. He analyzed every bag, every behavior, every suspicious movement, as if his life had been spent doing threat assessments. Because it had. Tuesday morning at 8:17 a.m., David was on duty at Platform 3 when he saw him. Middle-aged man, dark coat, large backpack. He looked normal, but David's experienced eyes caught the details. Excessive sweating despite the cold weather, never letting his bag leave his body, constantly checking his watch, eyes scanning around, checking exits. Most importantly, not traveling by train, just waiting. David approached, trying to look casual. "Good morning, sir. Looking for something?" The man jumped. No, I'm waiting for a friend." But David saw the thin wire sticking out from the bottom corner of the man's backpack. Plastic-coated, color-coded system. This type of cable was only used in one place. David's heart raced. 15 years of EOD experience was sounding alarms. "Which friend?" David asked calmly. I have to go." The man suddenly turned and started running. David didn't chase him, because there was something more important. The bag was still there. David approached the bag. Passengers walked past, thinking it was just forgotten luggage. The bag's zipper was slightly open. David looked inside and his breath caught. C4 plastic explosive, at least 2 kilos. Digital timer, 1432, 1431, 1430. Pressure plate, system that would detonate if the bag was touched. Anti-tamper sensors, would explode instantly on wrong movement. Ball bearings, metal pellets for shrapnel. This was one of the suicide bombs he'd seen in Iraq. Professional construction, military grade, powerful enough to kill hundreds. And it would explode in 14 minutes and 28 seconds. David grabbed his radio. "Control, this is David. Emergency on Platform 3. Suspicious package. Begin evacuation immediately." "David, another suspicious package alarm. Last week you—" "Start evacuation now," David shouted. "This is a real bomb." 3 minutes later, the station alarms began blaring. Announcements directed passengers to emergency evacuation. But there were thousands of people. Evacuation would take at least 10 minutes. The bomb would explode in 11 minutes and 15 seconds. Police arrived, bomb squad was called, but the bomb squad would take at least 20 minutes. "Is this definitely a bomb?" asked Police Officer Martinez. David showed him inside the bag. C4 plastic explosive, pressure plate trigger, anti-tamper system, military-grade IED. It'll blow in 11 minutes. Martinez's face went white. "Bomb squad is en route." "We don't have time," David said. "Either we disarm it now or thousands of people die." "Are you a bomb technician?" David hesitated. "I used to be. I was Navy EOD," David said, looking at the bag. 2006 to 2018, Iraq, Afghanistan. I disarmed 847 bombs. Martinez stared in shock. "Then, why are you working security at a subway station?" PTSD, severe anxiety attacks, medical discharge from the Navy. No security firms will hire me. Metro security was the only job I could find. The timer showed 9:43. Can you disarm this? David carefully examined the bag. This is a sophisticated device, multiple trigger systems, but it's a familiar model. I've seen similar ones in Iraq. What will you do? First, I need to bypass the pressure plate. Then, stop the timer. But one wrong move. Timer, 8:55. David took a deep breath. His old reflexes were returning. His hands weren't shaking, his heart was slowing. This was his world. David pulled a small knife from his pocket. Keep the evacuation going. I'm staying here. David, this is too dangerous. This is my job. David knelt beside the bag. First, he examined the wires around the pressure plate. Red, blue, green, standard NATO color coding. Timer, 7:22. I'm bypassing the pressure plate, he told Martinez. If I cut the blue wire, the plate deactivates. But if I'm wrong... Are you sure? No, but we don't have another choice. David placed his knife on the blue wire, held his breath. Cut. Nothing happened. The pressure plate timer, 2:15. He cut the first wire. Green LED went dark. He cut the second wire. Yellow LED went dark. Timer, 1:03. Last wire. Red. If he cuts this, either the timer stops or the bomb explodes. Timer, 0:45. David! Be quiet! Timer, 0:30. David's hand was trembling. 15 years ago in Fallujah, he was in the same situation. Same sweat, same fear. Timer, 0:15. David cut the wire. The timer stopped. At 0:07, the bomb was disarmed. David leaned back, breathing heavily. Martinez hugged him. You did it! You saved thousands of lives. The bomb squad arrived and examined the device. Professional work, said the expert. This bomb could have destroyed the entire station. Who disarmed it? I did, David said humbly. Who are you? Navy EOD, retired. The bomb squad expert looked at David with respect. Sir, excellent work. This level of improvised disarming can only be done by the best EOD technicians. The story made television. Metro security guard prevents terror attack. David didn't go into much detail in interviews. I just did my job, he said. But the real story was different. David had PTSD. He'd received a medical discharge from the Navy. He was trying to stay away from bomb disposal work because it triggered flashbacks. But in that critical moment, he'd set aside all his fears and saved people. After the story, David received hundreds of job offers. Security companies, federal agencies, private contractors. David accepted one, security chief position with the Metro Transit Authority. Why? Martinez asked. Because here, I felt like I really made a difference. For 15 years, I fought bombs. Now I want to protect people. David was no longer just a security guard. He redesigned the Metro system's security protocols. He provided bomb detection training. He developed emergency response plans. 6 months later, David began providing bomb awareness training to the local police department. What's the most dangerous bomb? A student asked. The one you don't notice, David said, because the best camouflaged ones raise the least suspicion. David shared his own experiences, cases from Iraq, struggling with PTSD, difficulties returning to civilian life. PTSD isn't weakness, he would say. It's a sign that you've seen a lot. Asking for help is strength. A year later, David was giving a walking tour at Metro Central Station. He was showing the new security systems. He stopped at the same Platform 3. Where the bomb was found, there was now a small plaque. Public safety heroes, those who serve in silence. Who is this plaque for? Asked a young security guard. For silent heroes who protect everyone, David said. because David's story became legend in the veteran community. A symbol of hope for veterans with PTSD. Because David showed that PTSD doesn't stop you, you just need to find different paths. The most important skills don't always appear on resumes. Sometimes they emerge in the most critical moments. David Park is no longer just a metro security guard. He's a public safety expert, bomb awareness instructor, and PTSD advocate. But most importantly, he's the silent hero who saved thousands of lives. Sometimes the greatest heroes don't wear uniforms. Sometimes they work ordinary jobs, and nobody notices them. David Park was seen as just a security guard for 3 months. But in a critical moment, he used 15 years of military expertise to save thousands of lives. PTSD didn't stop him, because true courage isn't acting without fear. It's doing the right thing, despite the fear. The most important message: silent heroes are among us. Show them respect, because you never know who they really are. Now it's your turn. Have you ever met someone who seemed ordinary, but had an extraordinary past? A security guard, janitor, driver. Share their name in the comments. Tell their story, because here at A Story Every Day, we believe that heroes who serve in silence should never be forgotten. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we'll bring you another story, and remember, sometimes the greatest heroes are the quietest ones. Subscribe if you believe silent heroes deserve recognition.